Hey everybody, it is Professor Hatch. I am here to talk about the reflection essay prompt. I'm going to share my screen and we will talk about this real quick. There we go. So, the reflection essay prompt. Coates, Gerba, and you, at this point in the semester, you've finished reading Between the World and Me by Coates, and you've just begun reading. Uh, I'm going to edit that now or I'll forget to, and it'll be in there forever. You've just begun reading, not begin reading. You've just begun reading Mean by Miriam Gerba. Um, Both of these books touch on themes of identity, struggle, injustice, and perseverance, among others. There's lots of themes between these two books. And with this essay, I'm asking you to do basically two things. First, I want you to compare and contrast the similarities and or differences in the way Coates and Gerba talk about these subjects, just like subjects. Just a simple compare and contrast, please. So you can choose identity or injustice or whatever. Education is a huge theme throughout both. And then I want you to write one paragraph each about how each of them discusses that theme. So two body paragraphs total. And then secondly, I want you to reflect on your own life and experiences and the different ways you've encountered these subjects. And then it says here, not everyone has been directly touched by injustice or had to overcome some significant obstacle, but everyone, regardless of who you are, has spent several years at least figuring out who they are and what they stand for. And, some people spend their entire life answering those questions. So two body paragraphs for that section as well. So this essay, basically, I'm calling it a reflection essay. It's half compare and contrast and it's half reflection. And then while writing the essay, you need to include examples from both Mean and Between the World and Me, as well as two articles from reliable journalism sources, which I'm just going to open this up real quick. This is basically just a chart explaining what a reliable journalism source is. You obviously want to avoid super conservative or super liberal crap. You also want to stick toward the I don't know, reliable reporting thing as opposed to down here at the bottom where it's usually just I don't know, nonsense. Anyway, and you'll see down in the gray section, there's just all this nonsense here that is just shouldn't be used in an academic essay ever. Um, anyway, that's what I mean by reliable journalism sources. So back over to the reflection essay prompt. Under the procedure here, obviously you're going to need to have read both of the books. If you haven't done that at this point in the semester, you are struggling, I would imagine. Yeah, you're going to need to read both of these books, or at the very least, find whatever part of the book you need at this point. Hopefully, you've read them, or I should say, hopefully, you've read Between the World and Me, because the same week that I am assigning like this essay and the outline assignment for this essay is also the same week you begin reading from Gerba. Um, you can choose sections from the first part of Gerba that you have to read this week and then apply them to the outline. And then if you decide you want to write about something different later, you can change it. That's fine. So you need to read the two books, find a theme they have in common, whether it's identity and justice, education, faith. Uh, Find a theme that they have in common and then write one body paragraph each about how they discuss that theme. And then I want you to apply that same thing either to yourself or if writing about yourself seems like way too personal or difficult or problematic or whatever, then I'm going to ask you to write about something you have observed in your life that is related to this theme. So if you're writing about education, uh, between the two authors, and then you're going to talk about education for yourself. Um, you could talk about your own experiences in the education system, or if you don't want to do that, maybe you could talk about one of your parents' experiences in the education system from however many years ago. Or you could look at something else entirely. Find a news article well, two news articles that talk about what education is for someone like you, if you don't want to talk about you specifically, and whatever that is. So, like, uh, I don't know, if you are a 20-year-old a Korean transfer student, a foreign exchange student. What is that called? That's not called foreign exchange. International student. If you're a 20-year-old Korean international student, then and you don't want to talk about what education is like for you, then you can like find some news articles that talk about what education is like for international students. Um, Hopefully, you get the idea. If you're going with the theme of identity, which is, I would argue, one of the main themes of both of these books, then you can apply it to yourself. If I'm doing that, I'm a middle-aged old fart, and various aspects of my identity are that, old man. I'm also a teacher. I'm a gamer, an author, a husband, an uncle, and blah 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 blah. So if I wanted to talk about my identity as a teacher, I'd either offer up personal examples, or I could find news articles talking about teachers in some way that resonates with me. Whichever of those two I choose, I still have to find two news articles to support the ideas I'm talking about. Entirely up to you if you want to talk about yourself or someone, or like or the community you belong to, whichever community that is. All right. So requirements 1,000 to 1,500 words. Those numbers should be taken very seriously. No less than 1,000. Please, no more than 1,500. You're probably going to go, I'm guessing, about, on average, most of you are going to go about 1,300 because I'm asking you to write 6 body paragraphs. Double-spaced essays, as always, no less than 4 sources, 2 of which have to be the assigned books, Between the World of Me and Mean, and 2 of which need to come from reliable journalism sources. So 4 sources total. No less than 6 paragraphs, the 4 body paragraphs, and then of course an intro and a conclusion. And then all the rest of this is standard stuff, which I won't waste your time talking about. It's a pretty straightforward essay. I'm going to make a video for the outline assignment, but it's not going to be like the previous videos. It's going to be pretty short because at this point in the semester, you should be very familiar with that whole process. So I think that's everything I need to say about this essay. Obviously, as always, if you have questions while you are working on this or whenever, you can text me on Remind 24/7, literally anytime, day or night. And if I'm awake, I will respond to you as soon as I can. And if I'm not, I'll respond when I wake up. Nothing else I should say, really. Bye.